in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought?
No matter how many times I roll that opening, I always laugh because it's the exact opposite of what I have on today's show. Hi, this is Doug Crow, your host of the Author Your Brand Show. You're going to want to take notes. And you're going to want to take notes today because, man, our guest, I've known him for a long time. He is known as the father of Afformations and the mental health coach to the stars. Mental health coach to the stars. He must be busy. He's working with Hollywood celebrities, 8-figure company CEOs, professional athletes, top executives, entrepreneurs. He's famous for helping his coaching clients make more in just 12 weeks than they made the previous 12 months. And you can get $300 worth of free bonus gifts when you get his new Millionaire Affirmations book, which you're going to have to wait to the end of the show to give you that link because, you know, we're all about marketing and getting things through. So welcome to the show today, my good friend, Noah St. John. Noah, how are you today?
I am great, Doug. Great to be here with you again.
Oh, gosh, that's wonderful. We haven't spoken in a while, but I know we've got new things coming out with that classic Afformations book.
Mm-hmm.
And you're known as the father of it, which is true. Normally people say stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But you actually did coin this phrase, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I invented it, discovered it 25 years ago in what I call the shower that changed everything. Right? I'm sure everybody watching this program has had a shower moment, that shower epiphany, right? And it's just that aha moment in the shower. Well, you know, I see all these books behind me. Well, these are the books, some of the books that I published over the last 25 years. These are my books in other languages here. And basically it all started 25 years ago with the shower that changed everything.
The shower that changed everything. I bet Babette has maybe a point with that. Anyway, the thing that's interesting to me is like, yeah, I had to rewrite my book, actually, my part of my book after reviewing Afformations, guys. It's that powerful and that life-changing. Give people a 30-second overview on what that word means and why it's so powerful.
I'm not going to make it 30 seconds, Doug, because it takes a little longer than that. I mean, it takes longer than that to describe what Afformations are. I mean, if you want the really short version, if you really want the really short version, everybody knows what an affirmation is. An affirmation is a statement of something you want to be true. Well, what I invented 25 years ago was something that I call affirmations. So we're not using the wrong word. I didn't misspell it. Some people say, did you spell that wrong? No, I invented it. It's affirmations, AFFORMATIONS. And so this is the new book, Millionaire Afformations, the magic formula that will make you rich. And yes, it has and does. And so the point is that Afformations, my Afformations method, is using empowering questions. It's using the brain's embedded presupposition factor, which is a fancy way of saying when you ask a question, your brain searches for the answer. So we're using what you're already doing to change your life in less than 5 minutes a day.
See, that was under 30 seconds, maybe.
Yes, it was, and there's a lot more to it.
There's a lot more to it. I explain this thing to people all the time, and I reference you, of course.
Thank you.
Saying that the brain can't not try to answer a question. Right. Like it's unable. If you close your mouth, and I say, "What color is the sky?" Your brain said blue. So it's pre-wired, as you mentioned. It has to try to answer that question, even if it doesn't know the answer, which is the key to this thing. That if you don't know the answer and you ask yourself the question, the brain keeps trying to find out the answer to it. So we've had a lot of success with that, obviously, in your life. Does it work best like when you're conscious or subconscious right before you go to sleep, or both?
The human mind is like an iceberg. All right. So I call it and refer to it as the iceberg principle of the brain. So just like an iceberg, right? An iceberg has two distinct parts. The parts above the surface that you can see and the part below the surface you can't see. Well, just like an iceberg, the human mind is about 5% visible, meaning above the surface of consciousness. We call it the conscious mind, meaning you and I both know what we're thinking consciously, but we really don't know what we're thinking subconsciously. Most people, we don't. And so that's the part beneath the surface that we call the subconscious or unconscious mind. And what I always say to my clients is it wasn't the part of the iceberg that they could see that sunk the Titanic. It was the part they didn't see that sunk the Titanic. And that's the part that's sinking most of us as well. Meaning that when you're asking lousy, what I call disempowering questions, whether you're asking them consciously or subconsciously, it doesn't matter because of the law of sowing and reaping. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is an ancient law. It's been taught for centuries. And yet, what are we doing? Well, we're sowing seeds of thought. And yet, what are most people doing? Sowing lousy thought seeds. Why am I so stupid? Why am I so fat? Why can't I lose weight? Why isn't my business growing? Why can't I get more clients or patients or customers? Why is there more month left at the end of the money? Right? And when you ask lousy questions, what do you get? Lousy answers, right? And that creates a lousy life. So using my Afformations method, that I teach you in Millionaire Afformations and all of my other books and online programs and coaching, the point is that we're taking what has been up until now unconscious or subconscious, meaning you don't even know what you're asking, right? Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what? This looks like a beautiful day. I think I'm going to hold myself back from success today. Right? I mean, nobody would ever think that, right? Because that's a conscious thought. But meanwhile, here we are, and what most people are doing is what I call driving down the road of life with one foot on the brake. So just as we want to reach, because all that I'm teaching, all I talk about, you mentioned earlier, I'm famous for helping my clients make more in just 12 weeks than they made in the last 12 months. Well, how do we do that? We do that by bringing what has been in the subconscious or the unconscious mind, meaning you don't know you're thinking it, right? And then when you bring it to the conscious, you're like, wow, I didn't even know I was doing that. I didn't know I was thinking that. But that's what makes this, and that's one of the things that makes this method, my Afformations method, so incredibly powerful and, as you stated, life-changing.
Yeah, I understand, when I did my own little light research, because, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I did, look at a lot of data on affirmations, and I was finding very reflective on the things that we say versus those bad recipe thoughts we have, like I am happy, I am healthy, I am rich, and then you look at your wallet and your health and like it's a lie.
Right.
So you can't lie yourself into success. So
That's
my
right.
question to you is this: though, the subconscious mind runs a show, digestion from healing wounds to day-to-day stuff.
Right.
How do you go from the conscious mind? Why am I successful? How did I lose 20 pounds, or however you phrase that? How do you go from the conscious mind into the subconscious? Is it just repetition, or how do you transfer?
Well, okay, so there's two parts to this answer. The first part is you cannot directly access the subconscious mind. You can't directly access it. You can indirectly access it. And that's exactly what we're doing with my Afformations method. Okay, so what we're doing is we are, number one, understanding what I call what is your head trash. Okay. Right now, head trash, again, I've written 17 books pretty much on this one subject. Okay. Basically, how to take out the trash that's in your head. Right. Now, let me give you a quick example of this. All right. So I was talking to one of my clients and I asked him a simple question. I said, how much do you think your head trash is costing you this year? Meaning, what's it going to cost you if you don't fix this problem, if you don't take out the trash, as I call it? Well, he, without batting an eye, he instantly said, it's going to cost me $1 million this year. $1 million. Right. Now, he's an entrepreneur, he's doing well, but he knew he was like, there's several levels up that he could be doing, right? But that he wasn't able to access them. Okay. Mm-hmm. Frankly, because of this head trash that, I'm talking about that I teach. And so he said, it's going to cost me $1 million. And I said to him, okay, I tell you what, you give me 10% of that. Just give me 10%. And I will get you that $1 million back. So in other words, he paid me 10% of $1 million, which is $100,000. Right. And he said that, he was scared, he was nervous, but he said he just knew that I would be able to get it for him. Well, guess what? We've been working together for about 14 weeks now. In the first 12 weeks, he already doubled his investment. He doubled it, meaning he made over $200,000 as a result of what we did together, the work we did. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for everybody watching, listening to this program? It means, number one, you need to understand that you probably have some head trash up there. I mean, most of us do, right? I mean, you can't make it to a certain age in life without like some trash piling up, right? And what does that look like? Well, it looks like what many people refer to as, limiting beliefs or self-sabotage. Those are all just symptoms of what, again, this is the deeper problem. This is the actual problem. In fact, one of my clients said to me years ago, he said, Noah, do you realize that your coaching is the only coaching that fixes every other coaching? And I said, well, no, I never thought of that, but I guess you're right. Yeah. Because it's the problem that causes every other problem. I'll give you another quick example. Okay. So I was speaking to a group of entrepreneurs in Los Angeles. This was a few years ago. And, these are high level, 6, 7, 8-figure earners, right? So, high powered people, about 1,000 in the audience, right? So I was presenting and talking about what I'm saying right now, right? And I just finished my presentation. I was walking off the stage. And a man came up to me out of the audience. He ran up to me and he, practically grabbed me by the lapels. He said, Noah, I want to hire you as my coach. You are the coach that I've been looking for. Now, I didn't know this man from Adam. Ironically, his name was Adam. So I said, okay. Well, what's going on? Why do you want to hire me right now? And he said, well, I'm totally stuck. I'm only making $4 million a year. Mm-hmm. Of course, I had to kind of laugh, right? I mean, I said, and I even said to him, I said, that doesn't sound like much of a problem, right? Who wouldn't want to be stuck at $4 million a year, right? That doesn't sound like a big problem. He said, no, I own a software company and we grew to 4 million in revenues really fast, but we have been stuck. We've been plateaued for the past 4 years, 4 years at the same level. We haven't grown, flatline. And he said, I've hired all these gurus, hired all the marketing guys, every, marketing guru, he named all the big names, he spent tens of thousands of dollars. And nothing, no growth at all. He said to me, as soon as I heard you speak about affirmations and head trash and your foot on the brake and everything you just said, he said, I knew you were the coach I've been looking for. He literally hired me on the spot. Notice that when, you have people who are doing well in life, they make decisions quickly, right? They don't pussyfoot around. They don't tap dance. They just make a decision, which Napoleon Hill wrote about 100 years ago, right? That, leaders in all walk of life make decisions quickly and firmly. So the point is, he hired me literally on the spot. Well, we worked together for about 2 years. In that less than 2 years, his company went from being stuck at 4 million in revenues to over 20 million. Hockey stick growth. Okay, so people are listening, and they're going, well, how does this help me, right? I'm not making 4 million a year. I'm not even making $1 million a year. I haven't broken 6 figures yet, right? It doesn't matter. Listen to what I'm saying. I've had people come up to me, at my seminars or write to me on social media, and they say, Noah, I'm totally stuck. I'm only making 40,000 a year. I've had other people say, Noah, I'm totally stuck. I'm only making 400,000 a year. I've had other people say, no, I'm totally stuck. I'm only making 4 million a year. It doesn't, the number doesn't matter. I'm talking to everybody, everybody here listening, watching this program, when you're stuck, when you're capable of more, when there's like levels that you're not hitting, number one. Number two, you probably know when you have head trash, meaning, this voice in my head that says I can't do it, or, and it might look like, or other people have called it limiting beliefs or self-sabotage or whatever you want to say, but it's really, this is the problem that causes every other problem. So the point about that is that, using my Afformations method, that I teach you in my books and in my courses, that's one of the ways that we get to literally unearth and look at these beliefs that most people go, I didn't even know. In fact, I literally just got an email today from one of my clients, and she just started. We have a program called the 12-week breakthrough because, as I just said, I'm known for helping people make more than 12 weeks. They made the last 12 months. She literally just started. We just started week 1, and she says, no, I'm already getting incredible results. We just started week 1, and she's just affirming all over the place. She says, I can't even believe all the trash that's up in my head. I didn't even know it was there. I'm like, well, you're welcome. So it can be that fast.
It's funny. We've been up in business a long time, and we've seen software come and go and tools come and go, and entire businesses get built around, funnel builders, things like that. And it's very appealing, these shiny objects of these tools, systems, data, all these things. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a deep level of mindset here. And it always fascinates me that I'm looking at myself. I've all gone through this roller coaster of, this cool thing, but all I can track all my big growth moments to what I believe and how I act based on my beliefs. Right.
That's right.
And so what is the process for this? If somebody's like super negative, do you even start working with them, or they have to have some inkling of positivity in their life, or what?
Well, I have had to fire a few clients over the years, because they just, the way that I would say it politely is their head trash is just too much, and either, they can't even dig through it. And, I tried, and I really want, and of course I can help them, but if someone's not coachable and they don't want to change, well, then, see you later, and it's tough. But I mean, that we're talking, 2 out of, hundreds, so very, very small number. My point is most people know, again, like I said, A, I know I'm capable of more. B, I've tried a bunch of other stuff. C, I've spent all this money on all those gurus out there. And D, like you were saying, I've tried all these shiny objects. And maybe you're up 1 month and down, you're up and down and up and down. And that, it's kind of like being on, I call it the revenue roller coaster. And after a while, after you've been on a roller coaster a while, it's like, man, I'm feeling kind of sick here. Wouldn't it be nice to just have that hockey stick? And that's, that's what we see with our clients. But the point is that, this is one of the ways that we do that, because what I teach is inner game and outer game. Inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you can't see directly, but it affects everything that you do, right? It's just like you were just saying, right? So when you work on your inner game, and what we see is that is 90% of success is inner game, but you still have to have that last 10%, which is outer game. Right. So I'll give you an example. There were many moons ago when, The Secret was the big thing. Right. Yeah. And, that was, and I'm buddies with everybody who was in The Secret, Asaraf and Canfield and Langmeyer and all these. They're all Vitali. Asaraf wrote the foreword for one of my books. Vitali wrote the foreword for another one of my books. So these are good friends of mine. Canfield wrote the foreword for another one. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, these are all buddies of mine. And, what The Secret did was it told us what we wanted to hear, which was, hey, all you have to do is think about money, and money falls in from the sky. And you're like, yeah, that sounds great. Sure. I literally had people, back in the day, and they would say, no, I watched The Secret 37 times. How come I'm not a millionaire? And I would go like this, face palm, right? It's like, really? Seriously? Because wouldn't it be nice, though, if that worked, right? You just think about money and it just appears. I don't know what planet that works on, but it's not the planet Earth, right? On the planet Earth, we have to do this annoying thing called take action, right? To get a result, right? It's just like saying, you know what? I'm going to get 6-pack abs. And meanwhile, I'm going to sit on the couch and eat junk food and never exercise, but I'm going to think about having 6-pack abs. How's that going to go for you?
Yeah.
So people overdid is what I'm trying to say. They just overdid it because The Secret, they told us what we want to hear. But that's why we also need the outer game. The outer game is the systems, the strategies, particularly as entrepreneurs, right? All the, blocking and tackling that we entrepreneurs have to do every day. But whether you have a business or want to start a business, or you're growing your business, or you have a job, a career, it doesn't matter. You have to do things in order to get this thing called money. Generally speaking, you can't walk into a room and say, all right, everybody love me and give me money, right? Unless you're Kim Kardashian or whatever, but
that's right.
Even she, as funny as it sounds, even she is providing value, right? She's providing celebrity value. That's a whole nother discussion we could have about marketing.
Yes, it is.
All right, but the point is you have to do both. You have to do inner game and you have to do outer. So that goes like to my client I was just telling you about, Adam, as an example. Well, in fact, every example I've given you so far, 100% of that growth was inner game, 100%. So like we're talking, I've helped my clients add over $2.7 billion at last count. Billions of dollars, adding 6 and 7 and 8 figures, hockey stick growth. And people say, oh, you must be a marketing whiz. I'm like, well, I'm good at marketing, but that's not even what I talk about. I talk about it because I have to, because you have to do that stuff. You have to do the marketing, the sales, the customer service. That's the outer game. But that's like 10%, that 90%, with all of literally all of my clients, all of those billions of dollars. You could just go to our website. You go to noahstjohn.com and you can look at what we call our wall of fame. And it's hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, case studies. I literally have people, colleagues of ours, you would know who I'm talking about. And they tease me. They say, hey, Noah, you got enough testimonials? I'm like, hey, you know what? Because the point is, people are skeptical, right? They're not going to believe what I say necessarily. But, if hundreds of people say, Noah's stuff works, maybe I should take a look at it.
Okay, I'm in desperate need of a story, Noah. Give me one example of like one of your toughest cases. You can leave a name aside, of course, but tell me what they struggled with, they went through, and what was the breakthrough moment. Because if it sounds like it's just a matter of reframing my affirmations into a question format, I could do that every day, but there's more to it, I'm guessing.
Well, there is more to it, yes. And that leads to what, I refer to as my power habit system. So Afformations is the foundation of everything I do with inner game. I was just talking about inner game, right? And so this is the foundation, all right, meaning Afformations. And again, that's Millionaire Afformations. That's the new book, The Magic Formula That Will Make You Rich, which of course will, and as Doug mentioned, for everyone watching, listening to the program, you can get $300 of bonus gifts, when you go to the website.
That's right.
My point is that, that's the foundation. But here's what I like to say to my clients. When you're, let's say, imagine that one of your goals, one of the things you want is to get a new house, right? Like maybe you want to move into, one of the nicer neighborhoods. Like, for example, I just bought this house last year. It's, it's a 6,000 square foot mansion that my clients lovingly refer to as Success Manor, because it's the house. It just happens to be the nicest house in the nicest neighborhood here in Northeast Ohio. And I mean, I started 25 years ago in a 300 square foot basement apartment in Hadley, Massachusetts. So, I mean, to go from a 300 square foot basement apartment with no money to a 6,000 square foot mansion on a hill is pretty cool, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, my point is that when let's say you're driving around, you want to buy a new house, right? Or move to a new house. You don't drive around and go, wow, look at all those nice foundations, right? I mean, you don't even notice the foundation, right? You don't even see it. But guess what? If there's no foundation, there's no house, right? But that's the point, is that's one of the reasons why many people are neglecting their inner game, right? And they're just focused on marketing. Again, it's not wrong. It's not that it's bad. It's just, it's an elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is called, I don't think I can do it. That's what I call inner game. That's what I call head trash. So until we move that elephant, we're not really going anywhere, right? That's one of the reasons my clients get so quick, not just huge results, but fast results, because we take the elephant, we go, okay, come on out. It's like, oh, I didn't see that. Oh, elephant, no kidding. And so the point is that when you're starting to use my Afformations method, that's the foundation of everything in inner game. But there is a lot more to it, which, we talk about in my books like Power Habits or Power Habits Academy.
I need a couple of habits. Noah, get granular here. Give me 2 or 3 of the habits. Give me something to take.
One of the habits that you need to do is called live your because. All right. So live your because means you've got to understand why you're here on the earth. Now, when I was 25 years old, I decided to commit suicide because I was so depressed, frustrated, lonely, broke. I had no money, no friends. No, my girlfriend had just cheated on me. And so, it was really awful. And the worst part of it was I'd been reading all these self-help books for years. Right. So it was one thing to be not successful if you're not really trying that hard, but I was really trying really hard, and I totally failed. And so the point is that, I realized, and at the very last minute, the last moment, my life was spared. Now, I didn't know why at the time, but I did realize that I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here on the earth. I don't know my purpose. So I went on a very long journey. I mean, it took me 5 years to find, why am I here? And so that's what I realized, is that is one of the hallmarks of highly successful people, what I call unconsciously successful people. That's the full name of, my programs and my books. Well, this is a book where I lay it all down, Power Habits. Right. So this is what is this called? The New Science for Making Success Automatic. I have a lot of titles. So anyway, so that's Power Habits. So that I'll show you real quick. All right. So like, this is it. This is the Power Habit system right here. You recognize Da Vinci's man, and there's Afformations right there. Anyway, so the point is you got to understand and determine or find out, discover, why am I here? And I have a process for that. It's not just find your passion, find your niche, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. So that's one. And then another one is to take goal-free zones. Now, what's a goal-free zone? A goal-free zone is just what it sounds like. It's a time and place where you don't set goals. Now, ironically, did you know that most people feel guilty when they stop setting goal, or when they're not working, right? I don't want to say most people, but many people, right? Yeah. Particularly people who, have one foot on the brake, and so they're working really, really hard, and they're working really long hours, but they're not seeing the results that they want. The number one frustration of entrepreneurs isn't just, I'm not making the money I want. It's, I'm not making the money I want after all these long freaking hours and all this hard work, right? Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's one thing to not succeed if you're not trying that hard, but if you're trying really hard and not succeed, that's very frustrating. And I know from personal experience. So that's why taking a goal-free zone every day is, or, you take more than one, but that's one of the things that I, teach you in the books and the courses. But very quickly, everybody can just realize that, life is not meant to work. Right. And so I teach people, ironically, that the longer you're actually working without taking as I call it, a goal-free zone, you're actually going to be zoning out because of these things. All right. So these things are, and I'm holding up a smartphone for those of you who are just listening, but a smartphone. I mean, what we have, all of us, we are all connected to a world of infinite distractions. And that is very literal. They are, you could watch nothing but cat videos on YouTube for the next 10,000 lifetimes. Right. And what's better than watching cat videos on YouTube? Right, nothing. And
More
that's the
video.
point. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you see what I mean? So anyway, those are just two quick things that anybody can do right away.
Great. Okay, so back to a story. I want to like a real more specific story on one of your most challenging students, not the ones that you had to fire, but somebody's like, wow, this is gonna be a rough road, but they had a breakthrough moment. I want to hear, give me a hero's
Well,
journey.
I'll tell you what. I had one client named Susan, and she doesn't mind me sharing her name. She came to me. She was $60,000 in credit card debt.
Wow.
Now, she had spent that money. Now, get this, not on clothes and bags and designer shoes or whatever. She had spent all that money on self-help programs. Okay, so she literally invested $60,000. Going to all the gurus out there, going to all the the big names, all the names we know, we've heard. And she was about to lose everything. She was about to lose her home. She was about to lose her marriage. Her husband said, "I can't take this anymore. You're spending all this money trying to get better. Well, we're not getting better. We're getting worse."
Yeah.
You know? And so he was going to leave her. Anyway, she hired me kind of out of desperation, like as like the last rope. And so I said, "Susan, did you realize you're asking a lot of really disempowering questions?" She said, "What's that?" And so, I taught her my Afformations method. We went through the whole thing, plus the whole power habit system. Well, long story short, in less than 6 months, we actually were able to help her land a 6-figure per year job, her dream job. Nice. And then actually she published her first book, which she asked me to write the foreword for, which is right here. That's her book right there. And this, by the way, these are just a few of the books I've helped my clients publish. And she asked me to write the foreword because of how, she says that I changed her life. So the point is that, the point of the story is, again, this is emblematic of what's going on out there. Many, many millions and millions of people are spending all this money, spending billions of dollars on, what I like to call shelf help, right? It's shelf help. You buy a thing and then it goes right on the shelf, right? And it's like, that's not really going to work. And they're not really getting to the problem that causes the other problems. That's what I've been thinking.
Right.
So the point is they're talking about symptoms, not the actual problem.
Right. And you mentioned also that willpower might be one of those, or it's the worst way to change a habit. Talk about that.
Yeah, willpower is the worst way to change a habit. That's what a lot of the gurus say. Hey, just grit your teeth and hustle and grind. And, if you're not working 18 hours a day, you're a loser. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Where are you? No, I want to live. I don't want to work to live. I want to just work and then have a life, And so the point is, think about it this way. I'll give you an example. Imagine if you're in your kitchen and somebody, just kind of relax or whatever, and somebody brings in a plate of freshly baked hot chocolate chip cookies, right? And you can smell the chocolate chip cookies, your brain, like your mouth's, my mouth's watering right now, just talking about it, right? If you're thinking about it, your mouth's watering. And you're, wow, oh man. And they say, here's what they say. They say, now don't eat any cookies. Do not touch that plate of cookies. Don't eat a cookie. All right, I'm gonna leave. Now don't eat a cookie. And they, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat like 10 of them, right? Right? Because it's like it doesn't work that way, right? The human brain does not like to be deprived of anything, right? Especially when we're trying to, hustle and grind and grit our teeth and all that crap. Okay, so I'm certainly not suggesting that there's not a place and a time for hard work, for focus, and etc. like that. But those are two very actually different things. And so the point is, willpower is a very limited resource. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad. I'm just saying it's a very limited, and frankly, it's very weak. And so that's why, going back to my Power Habits system and, Power Habits book, Power Habits Academy, which you can find all of that on our website on noahstjohn.com. But my point is that I show you that, no, you don't need to use willpower. People ask me all the time. I'll give you another example. People ask me all the time, Noah, how did you write 17 books? And I always answer the same way. By writing them. That's how I did it. And they're like, well, what's the secret? No, there is no secret. You write them. And see, because the point is that, I just talked about the fact that we live in a world of infinite distractions, right? And so that's what people do. They say, start to write, let me check Facebook. And they let me check my phone. Let me go watch Netflix. Come on, man. You're not even writing, right? And so that's the point. I mean, believe it or not, I wrote, as an example, I wrote this book, Millionaire Afformations. I wrote this book in 9 days. 9 days. That's all it takes when you are able to do that. And by the way, I'll just mention this. We do also have a companion journal that goes with the Millionaire Affirmations book, because we want to make sure that you make this a daily habit. So we have the Millionaire Affirmations book and the companion journal, and you can get both of those on the website.
Right. Okay. Well, that's great stuff. I love that. I know you're a high energy man here. If you gave somebody other than going to your website, which we'll talk to in a second.
Yeah.
But one piece of advice, one takeaway they could take with this, like, you know what? I'm ready to change, right? What would that one piece of advice be?
Ask yourself the cost of not taking out your head trash. What is my head trash costing me this year? If I don't take this out, if I don't fix this problem, how much is it going to cost me? Now, I've never worked with anyone who didn't tell me that their head trash wasn't costing them at least $10,000 per month. Well, do the math. That's 6 figures a year. All right. So like I said, this is for people who know, number one, they're capable of more. And number two, have probably tried a lot of other things, even like Susan did. Now, again, those programs put her in debt. And I hope that's not true for people watching this program, but it's more common than you might think. And so the point is, I'm here to tell you, it's not your fault. They're not fixing or even talking about the actual problem. They're talking about symptoms. And so when you only talk about symptoms without fixing the problem, what happens to the symptoms? They always come back. So when you fix the problem, then the symptoms go away. So the point is, how much is it costing you? How much is your head trash costing you this year? And then, frankly, you want to take it out sooner or later. So, whether you work with me or whether you do it on your own, I really don't want people to have to pay that cost anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that one. So obviously you're a very generous man. You got a lot of time. I know we got noahstjohn.com in the show notes, but your free gift thing. Now's the time to give people your generous gift here. Go ahead, tell us where to get that.
Absolutely. So the book is Millionaire Afformations, the magic formula that will make you rich. And you can get $300 of bonus gifts when you buy this book at getmillionairebook.com. Very easy to remember. Getmillionairebook.com. What book do I want to get? Getmillionairebook.com. Okay. And then make sure you also get the companion journal, because we have a whole year to help you make this a daily habit. And I literally teach you in the book and in the journal, I help you do this, how to change your financial future in less than 5 minutes a day, using my Afformations. But I spell it all out for you. It's right there, step for step. And you can see that it's got, literally almost 100 5-star reviews, on Amazon at this point. And we're just getting more every day. And we're, it's really awesome. So it really does change people's lives in a very powerful way.
Yeah. As long as they're willing to do it, as long as they can do some of they have to be aware of it, right? So it's right here in the show notes below, folks. Just go click on the link below. You can see it there in the show notes. Noah, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Doug.
You betcha. All right. That concludes our show today. Don't forget to take notes on this show. If you want to click and download notes right below, along with his book, of course, and his free gift. So thank you so much. Have a great day.